So, Ayushi Gupta, um, tell me something about yourself. Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Ayushi Gupta. I was born in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. I have had my schooling in two different states since my dad was on a transferable job. I have done my graduation in political science honors from Hindu College, University of Delhi, and my hobbies is to read Western fictional novels. Okay. So, Ayushi lives in Uttar Pradesh, Delhi. Mhm. So, which state is your favorite state? My favorite state is Madhya Pradesh only. Madhya Pradesh. Okay. So, what is the best thing you like in MP? I have had my schooling in Bhopal, MP. There used to be a VIP mart, and on that there was a lake there. We had a Raja Bhoj temple there, statue there. I used to whenever I cross that, it used to give me very homely vibe. Like I used to enjoy that clean air that used to come, so that feeling is still there, even though I am 21 years old. Still, that feeling is there. So probably that's one thing I like: the climate, the culture, the peace that is there. A small dog office. So which is the famous temple in MP? The famous temple in MP. There is no. Okay, the famous temples. We have some pilgrimages like Omkareshwar temple. We are having Chitrakoot is there, and we are having Ujjain as our main prominent temple that is there. It is of Shiva. Okay, so what is the historical significance of the Tukoganj? Tukoganj is the historical significance of it. It is one. He was one of the most prominent Maratha ruler. He comes from a Holkar dynasty. He had during his tenure we had a master development plan being conducted. So Tupoganj is the full name is Tukoji Holkar. That's the historical significance. So Holkars have the some history. Yes. What? Holkars are known for the constant battle with the Britishers also. There is one prominent Holkar ruler named as Ahilyabai Holkar. She is known for reviving the temples around Indore. There's this temple named I'm not able to recall the exact name, but she was known for reviving the temples nearby Indore. Okay. So your option is sociology. Right. Okay. And as you seen, there is a tariff game is going on in the geopolitical situation of the global way. So my question is, how China retaliate after the US tariff on China?
As far as I know, I have very limited knowledge, and with that limited knowledge, I believe that China is known for reciprocating with the same amount of tariffs that are being imposed on USA. That reciprocal tariff is one of the actions that China is taking.
Hmm. And what about the India? As the USA imposed the tariff on India too. So would you think that India should retaliate in a passive way or the active way? And what would be the retaliation by the India?
I believe foreign policy of India is more proactive in nature. We believe in dialogue and diplomacy more than retaliation. So, believing that principle, I believe we already have had discussions with US, and a lot of tariffs have been brought down by US as well, where we have also promised that we won't import that much of amount of oil from Russia. So, I believe going with that principle, India is doing whatever is capable, whatever.
Okay, so are Trump tariffs are consistent with the WTO rules?
No, they are holding on the WTO rules, not just tariff barriers. They don't have that respect of the multilateral institutions, and they are showing their hegemony in terms of whatever they want to do. This is very much visible in the aggressive attitude of US, be it leaving UNESCO, be it leaving these sort of multilateral institutions.
Okay, so do you think these tariffs protect the domestic jobs, domestic employment in a state? And give me such example.
I believe the tariffs are one of the methods to protect domestic market. For example, when India wants to produce something domestically, they aim to increase the tariffs. For example, we have imposed the import duties on very items of whatever we import from China, because we don't want our domestic market to be very much influenced and dependent on China's imports given the security reasons, and we can do our national development of it, Atmanirbhar Bharat, as we say.
Okay, so do you think the Atmanirbhar Bharat is still running on and implemented in India completely, or is it some there is a chance to more improvement? So, what do you think? It's a policy paralysis or need to improve something more?
I don't believe that there is a policy paralysis of Atmanirbhar Bharat, as we have already shown our power of indigenous defense capabilities or indigenous domestic markets. Our manufacturing have been revolving around Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are promoting constantly the domestic manufacturing of the materials, the raw materials. It is not a policy paralysis completely, but definitely we have some loopholes, and with the time we will plug in those loopholes also, and finally achieve Viksit Bharat by 2027.
Okay, so you studied from the Hindu college.
Right.
When the Hindu college established?
Hindu college was established in 1890 in Chandni Chowk, and
Okay,
then
so during this time there was some significance, historical significance as well.
it was one of the major university that was established during the times of Britishers,
Mm.
which promoted Indian education per se. So that was the historical significance.
Okay, so you are living in Ghaziabad,
Right.
and right now Delhi NCR is very famous for the pollution.
Right.
So please tell me, what are the major component of this pollution which cannot be reduced even by anything? So what do you think? What are the major components, and how one can do some policies or act so that in the long term we can cope up with the situation?
As per the reports that have been there on news and on media, is that the air pollution, the major contributor is industries and the transport, vehicular emissions, and then 10% or approx comes for the stubble burning that is done in the neighboring states. The measures that I would recommend as I would recommend is number one would be the short term measures that are taken, be it or even policy. But then again, it is a very short term, done only in the months of November and October and December. Instead, the long term measures needs to be taken up, where the heavy vehicular emissions needs to be regulated based on BS6 emissions. We need to educate people, aware people about the consequences of pollution. We need to maintain the ecosystem of EV vehicles in India, not just as the part of subsidies, but also developing an ecosystem where charging ports are available around. That would lead to long-term decrease of air pollution.
Okay, so you are editor in chief, Aloha Magazine, in Friends Corner, Mental Health Society.
Right.
So please tell me, what are the some mental health issues which is seen in the society nowadays?
As per WHO report also, there are 7 out of 100 people who are facing with mental health issues in India. The major issues that are there are anxiety and depression,
Okay.
PTSD, which is post traumatic stress disorder. These are the three common, I would say not common, but a prevalent mental issues that are being faced by the Indian population.
Okay.
So these are the three.
Okay. So as you've seen, there is a Nepal protest,
Right.
which has happened on September, and it was very famously said it is initiated by Gen Z. And now we are seeing the Gen Z and this technology, social media, which is very interlinked.
Right.
Huh? So please tell me, who considered as Gen Z at first? And second thing is, how Gen Z react, or why the Gen Zs are they are very proactive with any social problem with very instant reaction.
Right. So Gen Z is a basically a layman term that is being used for the people who are born after 2005. These are the
Okay.
people known as Gen Z people.
Mhm.
I believe social media has played a very significant role in making Gen Z aware
Mhm.
about the social problems that are there in the country.
Mhm.
I don't believe that youth activism is something that we should condemn about.
Mhm.
It is a way of strengthening the democracy. It is a way
Mhm.
of strengthening the democracy,
Mhm.
given the fact that it should not get violent. Till the time
Mhm.
it is peaceful and it is strengthening the democracy, questioning their policies,
Mhm.
it is a right step in a democratic country. So our step as an administration or the government should be to
Mhm.
get into the dialogue with them, talk a conversation, have a conversation, and try to understand their root cause problems, and then come to the middle ground on solving the issues.
Okay. So, as we seen, these Gen Z people are frequently changed or switches their jobs.
Right.
So, do you think there is a issue of job commitment or something else?
Every issue has two sides.
Hmm.
Given in this, if I will say that Gen Zs are more capable of switching the jobs,
Hmm.
shows that they actually believe in individuality more
Hmm.
than the giving in to the terms and conditions. They prioritize their work life balance,
Hmm.
and they work on that principle. But it would be completely wrong to say that
Hmm.
they are not respecting the job commitments. It's not like that. They try to respect the work dynamics that are there, but
Hmm.
again, that is not the only criteria that they get regulated on. They believe in work life balance more than that.
Hmm. Okay, fine. So, you did work in mental health
Right.
cell. Okay. So, what kind of work you did?
Our aim as a mental health cell, number one, was to break the stereotypes that it is okay to
Hmm.
talk about mental health.
Hmm.
Second, the main objective was to create a safe space around college students where they are usually very prone to questioning what they are, who they are, what is their identity. There are a
Hmm.
lot of migrants who come from small states to Delhi like state
Hmm.
and try to understand how the city functions. In that, providing a safe space was our objective to the students.
Okay. So, I have a one question from sociology.
Right.
So, who is your favorite sociologist?
My favorite sociologist is that kind.
Which theory you like?
Suicide. Theory of
Why?
suicide. I believe that theory of suicide was something that actually changed my mindset about suicide.
Hmm.
Before, prior to reading that time, I
Hmm.
believe suicide was always an individual cause where that person
Hmm.
is feeling lonely or alienated.
Hmm.
But after reading the types of suicide, I understood it's not just about alienation. Sometimes overregulation can also lead to suicide, as
Hmm.
being categorized by the types of suicide given by that time.
Hmm.
For
Hmm.
example, North Korea. They are very overly regulated country. And
Hmm.
in that also people can delve into suicide. So
Hmm.
that was something that actually made me like Durkheim and respect
Hmm.
him as a sociologist.
Great. So, your favorite hobby is reading
Right,
Western philosophical fiction and existential literature.
right.
Okay. So, which kind of Western literature you fond of?
Um, I have explored Western philosophical fiction of Haruki Murakami. He's a Japanese author, very renowned author.
Hmm.
He has wrote books like Kafka on the Shore, Norwegian Wood, 1Q84. The second author that I have explored is Fyodor Dostoevsky. He is known for writing, he is known for mentioning themes on morality and everything, like crime and punishment is there, white knights is there. My favorite author is Haruki Murakami.
So, what is the meaning of philosophy?
Philosophy is simply it's an abstract discipline which helps us explore
Hmm.
the concepts which are abstract in nature. For example, what is loneliness? What is alienation? What is concepts which does not have a prior well-defined definition? That is philosophy. Philosophy of anything. It could be of anything.
So, this mental health area is your specialized area,
Right.
your favorite area because of your literature,
Right.
your work,
Right.
your optional,
Right.
your graduation subject.
Graduation
So,
subject. Right.
so mental health is your favorite area.
Yeah.
We have seen in the society, as you are female, so many females are suffered due to domestic violence, rape, gang rape, and molest many things. So, if you get some survivors, how you deal with them? And one more thing, I'm not asking as a college student or the president of your Hindu college, I'm asking if you are DM of the state and you meet with the some survivors, then what will be your some course of action? What would you do in long term to maintain the things, to maintain the reducing this rapes or crimes in your state?
So, first, whenever I get an interaction with the survivor,
Hmm.
I would like to just sit and talk to that person.
Hmm.
Whether I would try to analyze what is she really feeling? Is she feeling lost because of her own biological reasons, or is she feeling lost because what will society think? What is her
Hmm.
mindset?
Hmm.
If she thinks that she is something that has been used or some sort of very bad feeling, probably I would share my story to reconnect with her. That it's okay, you're not alone. The culprit will be found and will be behind the bars as per
Hmm.
the rules, and you're not alone in this.
Hmm.
After that, my second step would be to go to the victim's family and probably convince them to the matter that this is not your kid's fault.
Hmm.
Have a optimistic approach.
Hmm.
Don't think that it is your upbringing's fault or anything. This is not
Hmm.
on you. This is on the bad evilness that has been shown by the culprit. That would be my first step as a DM, to go to their house and talk to them. As far as long term measures are required, the first would be I'll try to bring CCTV surveillance in the streets wherever the black spots are there, so
Hmm.
that at least some sort of safety could be ensured. I would try to deploy as many police officers on the night duty as possible. The
Hmm.
short term measure, immediate measure, would be to find that culprit, if possible, to deploy police and
Hmm.
give that safety net to all the women of my state, that they are safe, and if something happens, we are there.
Okay, so what is the tribal population in MP?
21.1%.
21.1%. And the forest coverage area is?
I'm not sure about the exact figure.
Okay, so forest area is measured by which department or ministry?
Not able to recall the exact figure.
No issue. What is the meaning of forest?
The the exact definition is something that I'm not able to recall.
Mhm. Okay, fine. So, Ayushi, I have a one question. What do you think the commitment, perseverance, integrity, which every IAS officer they read, they cleared the exam, but still the society is sustained with inequality, the crime, poverty, unemployment. This is like pervasive everywhere.
Right.
So, what do you think? It is a failure of system or it is the failure of policy?
Okay. I don't think so. It is a failure of system or a policy. For example, if we talk about system, education as a system or a moral institution, yes, there have been degradation of moral institutions due to the advent of illegal alcoholism is increasing too much. Access of internet has been leading to the negative sides of this.
Hmm.
Definitely, moral institutions are losing their significance.
Hmm.
But then again, the institutions like educational institutions or the family groups or the peer groups, if they are morally guided correctly, if they are having if they believe in the humanity of it, then I believe that this would go on in a good direction only. We need to revive it.
Okay. So, you studied history too.
Right.
Okay. So, please tell me the contribution of women in freedom struggle.
There are a lot of contributions by women in freedom struggle. The one person that comes into my mind is Sarla Devi.
Hmm.
She was exponentially a great contributor to the freedom struggle.
Mhm.
Kasturba Gandhi is another person. Or I can name many more like Anne Besant. She
Hmm.
was the first women president of INC. Or we can name,
That's all.
yeah,
I
thank you.
understand. As you've seen, so much disaster is happening in India because everywhere, north, east, south,
Right.
west, everywhere some kind of disaster is happening. है ना? Recently, the earthquake is happening in Haryana.
Right.
So, as a DM of a district, if earthquake happened in your district, what would be your first step? A precautionary measures for the long term.
If the earthquake happens, my first step would be to evacuate the people around, whatever, whoever is there, to evacuate them around would be my first step. If as a long term measure I have to take, probably ensuring that the infrastructure that have been created are at least earthquake prone, given the
Hmm.
district's area. If we know that that district is earthquake prone, having a
Hmm.
resilient infrastructure is my first long term measure that I would want to work
Hmm. Okay, fine. So, if we are talking about the international era,
on.
so India is having the best friend with the Russia and Japan, and nowadays government made some treaties with the Japan
Right.
and with the Russia, with the China too, just to empower our economy, our global governance reform. So the question is, on the one side, the tension from the US tariff, on the other side, the India's inclination towards the Japan, Russia, Russia is always a best friend, and China. Would you think the tariff would lead the best or improved friendship or the relationship of India with China?
Okay. I believe the aggressive attitude of US by imposing tariff barriers will
Hmm.
definitely push India to go for diversification of their geopolitical bilateral relations.
Hmm.
That would help us to coordinate with China, but again, on our terms. Something that we don't want to give in to China, given they are the next most developing nation that the whole geopolitics is scared of.
Hmm.
So we would like to keep up the terms that are more favorable to India, given the national importance is more important. It would
Hmm.
help us to have coordination on that basis. Given the best friendships with Russia and Japan, I don't believe that US tariffs would really will make any difference. Given the recent visit of Putin to India, just reassures the fact that best friendship is the historical friendship that we are having is still relevant,
Hmm.
irrespective of whatever the geopolitical tensions are there.
Hmm. Okay, fine, great. So, Ayushi, what do you think? What is the internal security problem in India?
The internal security problems in India,
Yes.
the first that comes into my head is about insurgencies that are happening.
Hmm.
Given we recently had a news of sleeper cells in India,
Hmm.
where the bomb blast was happened at Red Fort, is
Hmm.
something that is the prominent issue we should
Hmm.
face on.
Okay. Any other?
The another issue that I would believe is the issue of migration that is happening from Bangladesh or from Myanmar, neighboring countries coming into India. Then they have the tendencies of sharing the resources with the people who are already living in that state. For example, West Bengal, the
Hmm. Hmm.
ethnic changes, the cultural changes have led to people feeling insecure about their own resources. Is
Okay.
another issue.
Okay. So, recently the Global Innovation Index, which is published by the WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, in 2025. What do you think? In the one side, the report is saying the global R&D is decreasing from 2.9 to 2.3%. And now in this, India is winning in the world. So what do you think? First of all, what is the rank of India in Global Innovation Index? And second, what are the factors that leads the India to lead in the global innovation?
Ma'am, the exact rank is something that I'm not able to recall at this moment. But
No issue.
if we talk about the innovation, I believe India is going towards the most innovative function is because we can see even the statistics of having the
Mhm.
highest startup culture in India,
Mhm.
having policies like regulatory sandbox as done by RBI to ensure
Mhm.
that innovation gets
Mhm.
included in the policy implementation is
Mhm.
another way of how we are respecting and actually promoting the innovation in our market is
Mhm.
something that is leading us to move ahead into the index.
Okay. Okay. And what about India's happiness index?
The right rank again, I don't know, but we know that I know that we have slipped down
Hmm.
from our previous rank.
Hmm. Okay. So one more thing is the agriculture is most important sector in India,
Right.
but we are continuously decreasing in the contribution in GDP.
Hmm.
As a DM of a district, and the agriculture is so much happening in your district, how would you promote the agricultural practices first of all? Second thing is how you enhance agricultural productivity.
If I am a DM of a district, first step to ensure that agriculture gets developed is infusion of technology, as done by government by schemes like ASHA. It is basically what ensuring that the diversity of agriculture happens. We go to the
Hmm.
pulses production also. We don't just compartmentalize ourselves from rice and wheat cultivation, but explore our food basket um, by ensuring that we grow other crops as well, like soya bean or by pulses. This is one way of increasing the agricultural productivity. The second would be to ensure that uh, technological advancements like drip irrigation, the HYV seeds, the proper seeding qualities have been ensured. That
Hmm.
would be my another step, and it should be available to the farmers. That implementation is something that I would work upon as a DM.
Okay, so what is SCZ?
Special economic zones.
What is that?
It is basically a zone where all sort of productions happen for the exports and the imports of the country. It has nothing. It has no relevance with the domestic market.
No relevance with domestic market.
Like the
Are you
region,
sure? Are you sure? Noida is very good SEZ.
right?
So it is having no relevance with
I'll have
domestic
to
market.
read upon
I
it.
think you need to correct it.
Yes,
Okay,
I'll
no
read
issue
upon
at all. No issue. Okay, Ayushi. So one last question, then I am done.
it. Okay.
So, what do you think that for to be a civil services, the ethics is not just necessary but mandatory? If you are, and if you were become as a civil servant, what ethics component you should know that it must be imbibed in your personality?
The first ethical quality that I believe would be there in me would be the integrity and honesty. With leadership, I believe that ethics is very important in civil service servants because they are the ones who are to lead. They are the ones who are going to connect with the people. If they are not honest enough, if they are not they are not having the integrity, then how will we expect public to reciprocate with the same transparency and integrity?
But every officer is saying like this.
Right?
So, if there is a scale of 10
Mm.
and you are an IS officer and you need to do corruption, the corruption is must.
Okay.
How much corruption you do?
Zero.
Okay. Good presence of mind. Thank you, Ayushi.
Thank you.